Hey guys, welcome back to Crystal Time. I'm going to be reviewing Gretel and Hansel. Yes. So I went and saw this last night, and I was excited about it because I noticed in previews it had a little bit of dabble into witchcraft, and I like that. Okay, first off, I may spoil something for you all, so if you've not saw it and you're considering it, maybe not watch this. So during the whole show, basically there's only three characters: the witch, Hansel, and Gretel. In the beginning, their mother does play a role in it. There were some flashback scenes of different characters, but the main whole movie is just three people: the witch, Hansel, and Gretel. So as you notice, the title has been swapped. It's always been Hansel and Gretel all through the fairy tales. This time it has been swapped. The reason being, I think they swapped the title, is because Hansel is more of a younger child. The story is not really about him. The story is more focused on Gretel in this one. And Gretel wanting to know more about her powers, her dreams, more about what she's feeling. So whenever they get to the witch's house, even though Hansel goes in first, Gretel is peeping through and is very curious, and then she's the one that actually builds the relationship with the witch. She builds a relationship with her, and the witch starts teaching her about her craft and things about it. And that's what happens to Hansel. He kind of gets not lost in the movie, but it's like his character has like no role. I felt like the only role that I felt like was for his character was so the witch could say, hey, you don't need him, and he's kind of a crutch to you. And I think the whole reason for him being there is so it could give them something more to build on. I felt like it could have almost been made a whole different movie without the title being Gretel and Hansel, and without it even having any of that backstory. It could have been a whole new movie. Just my opinion. So, some very strange things I noticed about the movie. The witch goes into, you kind of get confused about the dream world and what's really happening. They don't really explain it too well or something, but if you know anything about premonitions, anything about the dream world, anything about witchcraft, you might understand it better. I went with Wayne, and he knows nothing of witchcraft and nothing of the spiritual world or anything like that, so he was lost. So if you know nothing about that stuff, don't want to know anything about that stuff, I don't recommend going. Don't even go, because you may be lost. And you may leave feeling like you was confused and it was uninteresting to you. But for me, it's very interesting. I am into witchcraft, and I have studied a lot on different religions and different things, and dreams and predictions and premonitions. And so I knew more about it than he did and understood it better, and I could understand how Gretel would think that she was dreaming something, but then it would happen, or she would wake up and thought she was dreaming, but it had actually happened to her. Yeah, Wayne got really confused about that, but I could understand it a little bit. So, getting back to it. A strange thing I noticed was there is a scene in the movie, and it shows the witch of a young age, not her older self. And it's when they're downstairs at this table, and Gretel's just kind of watching her, and it shows her, and you see these tattoos on her body. And she has different religious symbol tattoos on her body that really confused me, and I've yet to figure out this, but I think whoever wrote this meant it to be a symbolic reason. But she actually even had a Star of David, right here. Which is weird. It's just weird. Her tattoo symbols, I'm having problems with those. So if you know anything of that, please leave me a comment or message me help me out with that one. Another strange thing I noticed, it talked, like, not really talked, but kind of explained witchcraft a lot in it. But then whenever it showed a pentagram on a tree outside, the pentagram was actually reversed. It was flipped upside down, which is actually a symbol that witches generally don't use their pentagrams upright with the star upright. But theirs was flipped upside down for a different practice. So it's kind of like the writers and the production team, they knew a little bit about what was going to be going on, but then they didn't really do their research all the way. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just how I feel. And I'll be honest, it held my attention for about 55 minutes. And I know it held my attention for 55 minutes because that's when I decided, yeah, I don't think I'm going to miss anything if I run to the restroom. So at that point, that's what I did. I looked at my phone. It had been playing for about 55 minutes. And I was like, I'm going to the restroom real quick. Be right back. And so I went. I came back. Really didn't feel like I missed anything. But as soon as I sat back down, I felt like it got moving. So kind of, it's just not even an hour and a half long. So it's not really that long of a movie. And it almost keeps your attention the whole way if you understand it. But if you don't understand anything about the practice, anything about witchcraft, you may be lost. You may not understand. You may get pissed off. So I would suggest going with someone that knows something about it if you really want to watch it. It's not really that scary. I would take probably my 10-year-old and up if I had a 10-year-old, but I don't. I wouldn't recommend it for anyone under that, but that's just my protocol. Not really any too graphical bad scenes in it. The ending of the movie, stop now if you don't want a spoiler. Just stop. Okay, so the ending of the movie, the very end, she sends her brother away. Gretel does. Because Gretel overcomes the witch, she realizes her power, and in order to keep her brother safe and everyone else, she has to learn to control herself. So she sends her brother away so he can make his own way, and she tells the horse where to take him and to take care of him. So after she does that, there's a lot of people that comes out of the woodwork. They just start coming out from behind trees and out of the forest. A lot of children, teenagers and so forth. And Wayne was like, oh, so was they being held captive and now they get to be freed? Yeah. And I said, no. I said, no. They were dead. The witch had killed them. But now their souls are free. So their souls were trapped there. And their souls were then freed when the witch was gone. So Wayne didn't understand that part. He was really confused. He kind of thought she had them imprisoned. I don't think this movie compares to the fairy tale whatsoever. I guess it's kind of a switch up on the name of Gretel and Hansel instead of Hansel and Gretel. I liked it. I did. I enjoyed it. I will buy it on Blu-ray, DVD, whatever, when it comes out, because I don't know if you know this about me, but I love DVDs, Blu-rays, love them. So I'll definitely, this will be added to my collection, and I would recommend going and seeing it. I would recommend it. I like it, and on a scale of ABC, I give it a B. The reason I'm giving it a B is because I expected it to be more than it was. So if you go in no expectations, you may give it an A. But I expected it to be more. I expected to be scared more. I like that little bit of a quiver, and I like to learn something in the movie, and I felt like I learned nothing. I learned nothing with this movie, and I felt like I was trying to correct it. Like, you're doing that wrong. What are you doing? What are you even trying to explain here? And I felt like that sometimes. So that's why it's getting a B. But the reason it's not getting a C is because it deserved more than a C. I think they really tried hard. I think it was a good switch up. But in all honesty, they didn't have to do a switch up. Maybe they did a switch up to get better views. I don't know. But I don't think they needed to do a switch up. I think they could have named it something else. And it could have been a whole new show. A whole new movie. And I also don't even think they needed Hansel. I think it could have just been this little girl who goes into the woods and meets this witch. And it could have been the same story, kind of, just with Gretel. I don't even think Hansel needed to be there, because his role was so insignificant in this movie that, I mean, yes, okay, so it did say that, you know, Gretel was being held by her brother, and that's why she couldn't grow in her powers and all of this, but I believe that he's just so insignificant, he did not even need to be there. Like, that character did not even need to be there. It should have been named something else. I don't give it an A for those reasons. I don't think they should have played on the name. They should have just named it something else. Maybe just named it Gretel. Gretel and the Witch. Because, I mean, you know, it's kind of different. Their mom actually sent them into the woods in this one. And like, you know, their stepmom and their dad sent them into the woods. This time their mother sent them into the woods. Because she kind of had mental illness or something, they said. I don't know. She couldn't afford to feed them. So she sent them off to the woods. So they switched up that. Didn't even have the dad in there. So why have the brother? I don't know. But that's my opinion. That's some things that happened in it. I'm very curious about those tattoos. Why does she have the Star of David and the other tattoos on her body? Was those significant, or was this just the actress with these tattoos? Like, somebody explain to me the meaning of all of her tattoos. Like, I need to know. I need this for my knowledge. But I like it. I'd go again. I may go again. I might get a friend that knows something about witchcraft and go with her, because I might enjoy it a little bit better, and she might help me decipher some more things in there. So if you're into dreams and how you think that dreams are really happening, if you're into a little bit of witchcraft, if you're wanting more knowledge on things, or if you just want to be a little bit frightened because it's not really that scary, go watch it. It's worth your time. I hope you go see it. Most importantly, I hope you like and subscribe to me. Thanks, y'all. Have a great night. Bye.